welcome back to my van build series. This episode is going to be all about the electric system, wiring. Today my mother has joined me to work a little bit in the van. So I would say that's a typical van build situation that I have here. Some part is missing. Like in this case, the cables are missing, and obviously without the cables I can't do anything.
I've been living in my 1979 Mercedes camper for 2 years now. I love that van, but it was itching me to do my own conversion. Alone and without any experience. I sold my old van and started with my very own van build.
Okay, good morning. So this morning I had problems opening the door, and it was pretty clear what it was. This is the wood paneling on the door is loose. I thought this might happen, so I'm going to use a couple of screws to attach this thing to the wall anyway, but I don't have the right screws right now, so I'll have to wait until I get to a hardware store again. Updates on these panels. Still completely loose here, and I discovered this morning. And it's really annoying that this is not working, because if it only holds in place with screws, then I could have just done that from the beginning, and that would have been so much easier to just put in everything with the screws than trying to somehow. I mean you've seen it. The whole gluing the cladding to the walls was really annoying and really hard to do, and everything fell down all the time, and it was so much effort to just glue it in there. But I thought, well, if it's in there at some point, then, you know, I don't need to use any screws. Well, I was wrong, and it doesn't stick to the wall. So now I just have to buy new screws and just screw it all in there, and, you know, that's what it is. Anyway, nothing I can do right now because I don't have the screws. So let's continue with the wiring. So now I've got these cables in there, and now I theoretically should be able to screw this bed frame to the walls and everything. And then if this is in the fan position, I can get this thing into the fan position and the seats and everything. Now I want to attach the frame. In order to do that, I probably have to remove these boxes again. The front ones are attached now, so this is quite stable. But now I still need to attach the back ones. Back here there's an angle that I want to attach this direction, and obviously there's not a lot of space here. If I use my normal screwdriver, I can't screw anything into here. But this is why I have this thing here, which should be able to do this in an angle, so we'll see if that works out. now this is nicely attached to the floor, but now up here you can still move this around. So that's why I'm screwing in this direction, and that should keep everything nicely in place. I might tighten these again, but first I'm going to do the other side. But that looks really nice, and this is really nice and sturdy. This is nice and secure now. Nice! Makes me feel very secure. So the next thing that we're going to be working on is the cover wood for this metal beam here. So I tried doing something before with the vertical wood, but I thought it didn't look that nice, so that's why we're just doing normal cladding. And so now we just have to cut these pieces to size, sand them, paint them, and all of these different steps. And I already got a piece of cardboard to see how wide I want these ones to be, and they fit nicely here in this spot where it's the widest. And there's going to be a lot of overlap here, but that's about the size that we want. And now with this thing we're gonna go over to the workshop where the saws are and cut some pieces of wood. So this is what this looks like. I think it looks much better than the thing that I had before. This here is a bit ugly, but it's going to be covered by the seat here, so we're not going to be able to see it. And this is it for the other side. I think it looks quite good. So, good morning. Yesterday we finished putting up all the wooden pieces that go on the metal beams of the car, and now we're going to remove them all again to sand them and paint them. My mother's going to work on this, and I'm probably going to work a little bit more on the wiring. Alright, let's get started. Come on. The reason why it takes me so long to put these cables through these tubes is that they just keep getting stuck in there. So I use these tubes here, and obviously they have these ripples. Oh, camera focus on the ripples. Yeah. So they have these ripples here, and the cable keeps getting stuck in them. And that's just stupid. But these are for cables. These tubes are for cables, so I don't get why anybody would want to use these kind of tubes. And originally I wanted to just use normal hoses, you know, for water and stuff, and they would not have the problem. But somebody told me, hey, you should just use the official ones that are for cables, and then it's gonna be much better. Well, this is really a pain. If you are doing this, don't use these ones. Use the little bit more expensive ones that don't have these ripples, and then it's gonna be so much better. But now they're in there, and I don't want to tear out all the insulation. So now that's what I have to deal with. So all of the wiring that needs to go through the walls is in. So this is for lights under the cabinets and inside of the cabinets. This is for the fan that's gonna go there and the lights that are gonna go on this side. Here, these are for light switches and the light that goes up there. And well, that's a mess back here. These are the soda. This is the negative that comes from the lights that go up here. The positive comes from this side, and back there there are cables for the switches here and a USB port. They go around here and back here to where everything comes together. And this cable here is for the, if there's going to be some cabinets here, then there's going to be cabinet lights here underneath and inside. This is it for now, and now I need to actually use these cables to do something. How's it going over here? So that's all of the cover pieces for the metal beams painted, and also the little beams between the bed drawers. These ones, they're cut earlier too. Also these parts, they're part of the frame for the seating, but with a little cutout for this cover width. So it's all nicely cut and painted and sanded before. But now we'll let these dry overnight and hopefully attach all of them tomorrow. Alright, see you tomorrow, guys. Good morning, everyone. It's such a beautiful morning today. I'm excited to get started again working. And I have these ones that we prepared yesterday. We sanded and painted them and cut them and already prepared the pocket holes in here. And they're gonna go here as the stoppers for the drawers. They're gonna come in between. I mean, this whole video was supposed to be about the electric system and everything, but honestly, I think I'm just doing other little things like this cover wood. I mean, yes, I put in the cables, but that's really just preparation. I feel like that's something I need to do before. Maybe I'm just doing it because I'm kind of scared to get started with the electric stuff. But I think it makes sense, you know. I'm attaching these now because I need to lay in the cables in the back of them, and I don't really want to connect any of the cables if I don't know how long the cables are gonna be. It's probably not a big deal. It's probably something I could still do, but you know, that just feels better for me. So that's why I'm doing it that way. All right, let's get started with these. Of course, the camera just died when I started working on it, but now let's do this. This one's already in. So this is the result. I think it looks quite nice. Down here you can see where the seating box is going to go, and you can see that this is a bit different, but you won't be able to see it from the top. So that's quite nice. And What's not that nice is that every time I screw something in here, the whole thing completely split. But I hope I can just, I don't know, put some paint on top or fill it with wood filler or something like that. I screwed this side because I was able to attach it to the wood that's back there. And this side here, I only used the glue. I think that should do it. I think that should stay on there nicely. So we were just cutting the wood for the paneling of the back doors, and we're about halfway through. It's just the rough cutting because I realized it's pretty fast when you do it with two people. So we're getting something done like that, and yeah. So now those were the ones for the lower part, and now the two for the upper part.
Fertig. Okay?
Alright, that fits well. So that was the last thing that we wanted to do today. Make these blueprints, because out of these I cut the window frames, or I have the measurements for the window frames on this one. But we're not going to do this today, it's already evening. I'm not sure if we're going to do something tomorrow, and the day after my mom's going to leave. So that was it with her. Maybe she returned. We will see about that. Maybe she wants to say goodbye.
Okay, bye bye.